Hey yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Billz on the AntiBakwaas podcast, along with my co-host,
Kina, the problem child from last time.
the Problem Child. Hey, Kina, what's going on? Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
How's your New Year's been?
Busy.
Busy with what?
Work?
Work,
Projects?
work, projects, family's good.
Yeah.
Had a good New Year's.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, everything so far so good. What about you?
Same old same. New Year. That's about it. You
Really?
sound a little down. Like, what's going on? What's on your mind?
No, I just had a long day.
What do you
Just
mean you had
tired.
a long day? Like, why? Why did you have a long day?
Cause my day starts around like 4:30 in the morning and doesn't end for a long time after that.
Sound like you a mom.
No, I just don't sleep.
I don't know. That I just don't sleep didn't sound too appealing. Why don't you sleep?
Cause I got work to do.
It seems like it's more than just that on your mind. If you can't sleep,
No. If I can't sleep, it's usually because I have work and I like getting stuff done. You know, when you get the burst of creativity
right?
and you just want to like jot stuff down or do certain things at that time because then you'll forget after. So that's pretty much it. So for me, I don't know why my mind works more at night. Like
You
all
a
the,
vampire.
I've been told.
By
So
who?
many
Friends,
family,
family.
yeah,
I
friends and
thought
family.
friends.
You ever watch the originals?
No.
You should.
Why?
It's a vampire show. It's a good show.
Everything is vampires, huh?
No. So there's what was it? It was the Vampire Diaries, which
Right.
was awful. Except for a few episodes where they had the original vampires come in, and then they had a whole spin-off show called The Originals, and that show by far was my favorite. Yeah, it's a good show, and I've been compared to Elijah, which is one of the main characters. He's like one of the badass vampires. Actually, the entire cast is badass vampires, but Elijah is he's reformed. Remember how we spoke about in the last episode, like, don't push someone's buttons because you don't know what they're capable of.
Right.
Elijah's that person. Like he's in his suit, he's all like prim and proper. Push the buttons enough, and then he goes back to being in his
Do your
suit and
friends
tie.
ever push your buttons though?
My friends would push my buttons, but in a good way, not in a negative way at all. No.
So what are we gonna talk to our audience about today? Let's figure that out. Or have
Well,
you figured it out?
well, no. But since you mentioned friends, you just reminded me of a video I came across on TikTok. It was for the life of me, I can't remember the user's name, but this user was speaking about how when it comes to friendships, if you hear someone talking shit about your friend and someone you actually consider a friend, and you keep it from them, you're not a good friend. And that can apply with family members, that can apply in relationships. And I agreed with that point. I was like, yeah, that's true. Like if I hear someone talking shit about a friend of mine and I withhold that from them, I feel like I'm lying to them
Okay.
because I don't want my friend to go out looking like an idiot.
But here's a question. Now, the person you heard that from, is that a family member or another
It could be
friend?
whoever.
Right. So
It could be whoever.
wouldn't that make you be in the middle of a situation you don't
No,
want to
I
be
feel
in?
like that's the concept people think, and they're like, "Oh, we don't want to get in the middle, and we're a neutral party." I feel like if you're a neutral party, you're part of the problem. Because if you hear something, and especially if it's a valid thing, like I'm not talking, oh, their outfit was trash, like nothing stupid like that. I'm talking something really not even drastic, but something more important
Right.
that would kind of spark like a red flag.
But again, that's you're friends with both of them. Now, are you picking and choosing who's a better friend? Who's a better friend to you?
No,
Because
because I would do
no,
the same for that person
so
too.
let's take this example. You got person A,
Yeah,
you got person B.
yeah,
You're person C. You heard person A that is friends with person B
mm-hmm.
and is friends with you.
Mm-hmm.
Say something bad about person B.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wouldn't it be that you confront person A about it? Like, hey,
Like
like what's
initially I would shut it down and be like, okay, first off, why are you talking to me about that person? They're not here.
okay,
Right. Secondly, where is this coming from? But initial thing would be to shut it down. But even if I do shut it down, I will let my friend know that, yo, this was being said about you. This is how I handled it. So we're good. But just, just be careful.
but see, I've seen many situations where I don't see that playing out all too well for you.
It doesn't.
So why get yourself involved?
But like I said, it depends on the situation. And not to
No,
cut
but
you off,
again,
but it
but
depends on the
you're
situation.
saying that you're saying that to let your friend know what their other friend said about them, and in some cases, people will consider that being malicious. In some cases,
I can see why you would say that.
right?
Okay.
It would be like, yo, I'm friends with him. I'm friends with him. Now they're both beefing, so they're both probably confiding in me. My job isn't to go back to one and the other and tell them, "Yo, by the way,
Don't
this
do it
way he
that
said
way.
it."
But
Right?
that's what I'm saying. Don't do it that way because
Okay.
that's where I think the problem arises from. Like, let's say I'm friends with you and I'm friends with, let's say, whoever you're dating. Just a example. Um, but I know the person you're dating because of you, right?
Right.
And if I hear, let's say, the person you're dating talk shit about you, but you're my friend,
Yeah,
right?
but that's a whole no. That's a whole different ball game.
In general, though, I'm just
Right.
giving an example. Like, if I hear her saying something about you, first off, I would be like, okay, where is this coming from? But then again, I feel like if I got into that with her, it may or may not play out well. But since you're my friend, I will tell you, and I'll say it in front of her. I'm not gonna hide it and be like, yo, let her go away because I'm not lying about anything.
Right.
She denies it, that's on her, right? But I will confront the whole situation in front because you're my friend. My loyalties are to you.
But the whole point is that you're friends with both of them.
I'm only friends with
Okay.
your
Got it.
significant other
Because
because of
I
you.
had a situation, right? So this is how one of my buddies handled the situation. Recently, I was feeling a type of way about a situation, and the one buddy that's buddies with both of us, the other friend, I vented to him or whatever the case might be. Told him don't say a word.
Hmm.
Right? Doesn't say a word. 2 days later, I get a phone. Hey, we need to talk.
He
I'm
said a
like,
word.
we need to talk. So my instant reaction was,
Mhm.
yo, what the hell did you say, man? Like, what happened? So I speak to the homie. I'm like, yo, what'd you talk to him about?
Mm.
He's like, oh, nothing, bro. I just said, yo, I think you guys should talk. You know? I'm like, but what'd you say? He's like, nothing. I just told him you guys should talk. He knows you're feeling some type of way and X, Y, and Z. So I just told him you should talk. And that's how he handled that situation because now we got my other buddy called me. He's like, yo, I think we should talk. We got together. We sat down, friends to friend, boys to boys, men to men. It's like, yo, what's going on? What's the issue? This is X, Y, Z. But in your case, it might not play out that way in your scenario.
Maybe in that scenario it won't, but that's just one of many, right? It could be between friends, it could be between even between siblings, right? Like if you hear something, if one of your siblings says something to you about another sibling and it's like, yo, don't say anything right now. Okay, cool. I'll stay quiet. But then when you see both of them still going at it, you're like, you know what? You don't want to get caught. I mean, me personally, I don't like getting caught in the middle. So I'm be like, look, you both sit down. This is what you said. This is what you said. Sort your differences out.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But in today's world, we don't have that, right? It's very, very hard for people to own up to what they're feeling, right? Now, we could be best of friends,
Mm-hmm.
right? You and I could be the best of friends. The one thing I can know everything about you and you can know everything about me. But the one thing that I will never, ever, 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 ever know, no matter how well I know you, is what's going on in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you decide to tell me, right? These kind of feelings are mostly sheltered
Mm-hmm.
within our own minds because we're like, oh, XYZ, for whatever reason, we don't want to speak on it. We hold it in. But then, how are you supposed to resolve a situation, right? That's where situations and friends become a problem. Now, if you have a problem with me,
Mm-hmm.
I expect you to come and tell me, like, hey,
Exactly.
Billz, listen, XYZ is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have, you're holding it in your heart. You're holding it in your heart. Now you talk to this one, you talk to that one, you did talk to that one. Now you just made it a whole issue.
Yeah.
All you had to do was come and talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
We're grown, right? That's what I would like to think. We're grown adults, right? So if you have an open corridor with me to come and speak to me, man to man, woman to man,
Mm-hmm.
child to uncle, child to guy, whatever the case might be,
Just person to person. You want to
come
go.
and speak to me and tell me what I'm doing wrong because I could be acting the way I act, right? That's who I am. That's who you became friends with.
Yeah.
But as we know, as
The
time
relationship
ages,
grows.
as the relationship grows, time ages, the things that quirks that you might have liked in the beginning, it doesn't just happen in relationship. It happens in friendships too, right?
Yes.
In the beginning, you let go a lot of stuff, right? But then as you get to know the person, there's icks about that person that you start disliking now, right? You're like, right?
Which is again normal.
Right.
That's
But
normal.
that's normal.
Yeah.
But you, as a person who considers me a friend,
Yes.
a good friend, should have that open path of communication with me for you to come and talk to me like, hey, Billz, listen, you did XYZ. I didn't appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, there's nothing I can really do because I can never tell you how I made you feel.
Yeah.
So if I'm a grown adult, I'm a person, I'm mature enough, I will, instead of rebutting that, saying, oh, I didn't do that, I would like to think or I would like to understand why you came to me with that. I could change the behavior,
Which
or I
is the
can
best.
fight, or I could fight it back and say, no, I didn't do that, which causes more problems.
So best apology is change behavior, right? That's what they say.
That's the positive. But in today's world, we don't have that. What we have is clicky behavior.
We have bullshit.
We have bullshit.
We have a lot of bullshit.
We have a da da
We
do
have-
da da,
we-
right?
We have people that go from one friend group to another friend group to another friend group just to see
Ain't
what
nothing
fits
wrong
the
with
bill.
that.
No, there's a lot wrong with
No,
that.
ain't nothing wrong with
There's
that.
a lot wrong with
Listen, my enemy's enemy is my.
No, see, that's the thing. Everyone always goes down to it being enemies. It's not an enemy thing. Like,
No,
at least,
but you gotta understand, in today's world, we're so sensitive, and we're so because we are so sheltered, and we're so sensitive that the moment something goes wrong,
you go to the next safe spot.
you find a safe haven.
Yeah. You run from a problem.
You run from a problem, right? But now that's not the point. The point is when that problem got created between you and I, and we separated ways, for some odd reason, people tend to think now we're enemies.
Yep.
Right? So that's what I'm talking about.
But what adds to that is like when you separate and then you see your, I'm not even going to say your former friend, your friend that you have a distance from now, start hanging out with people that even they're aware of, talk shit about you and actually dislike you and went out of their way to hurt you, that's where problems come into. And that's what doesn't make sense to me. That's what I see a lot of. Like, you and I are friends, cool. You and I have a disagreement, or we just grew apart for a certain period of time, right? Which is normal. That's fine. That doesn't mean that there's anything bad between us. We just, maybe I got busy, you got busy, life happened. That doesn't mean we had a falling out or anything.
No,
but
but
if
we're
we
talking
stop,
about people that you have a falling out with now.
okay,
right?
but let's say even if we did have a falling out,
Right.
out of respect for the friendship that we had at one point, regardless of what our falling out would be, I would expect from my friend to not go and associate with people that did me dirty.
But that, like, you gotta understand something.
Especially when I know that even you dislike those people. Because then that makes me think twice, like, wait. He disliked them. He knows what they did to me.
But that's a circus that goes on in every friends group, right? Everybody knows.
But-
everybody doesn't like. There's always a Desi friends group, right?
Why is it always Desi's though?
Because
Like
it's
my actual friend group isn't Desi. I don't have to deal with that shit.
Gores don't do that, in my opinion. They're very
White
straight
people
up.
don't do that. Hispanic people don't do that. Like my friend
If they
group
don't like
is,
you, they don't like you.
That's it.
But the most, the fakest ones out of all of them,
Is the Desis.
and we're Desi, right? I'm Desi. I'm not. shitting
We're not
on our
hating
people.
on it.
We're not shitting on our.
But we
own
are shitting
people.
on this behavior.
We're shitting on the behavior.
Yes.
The behavior is cringe, bro. Like how you sat there for days and months and years and you badmouthed somebody to me. Always hated them. And the moment me and you had a falling out,
Now you're best
next
friends.
thing you know, you got your phone like, ooh, bestie, taking snaps. Hello. It's my bestie. It's my new best friend, the person I always needed in my life.
Oh my goodness, my ride or die.
Huh?
My rider.
My day one.
Oh my
That's
God.
the best one. My day one.
It's like
Bro,
day
how
one
many day
where?
ones you got? It's 7 days in a week. They
How
got
many day ones?
7 day ones.
How many besties? How many day ones? How many ride or dies? I'm like, that's not the definition of that.
That all that is people looking for a safe haven.
That's it. It's
because people
validation.
don't know how to be okay with not having nobody in their life, right? And that's
Have you ever just gone out by yourself?
I actually learned to do that. I was actually one of those people. I'll tell you, I'll be honest. I'll tell you one of those people. I was one of those people that always liked being around people. 'Cause I'm an extroverted person. Like you see my personality. I could spark up a conversation with a dead bird if I wanted to, you know. But like, hey, ZBR, you know, I'm just saying. But my point.
I can see you doing that. You on the road, CPR, like, yo, I need a friend right now. Wake the fuck
Wake
up.
the fuck up. Come on, little birdie. But you know, I'm an extroverted person, but because I was so used to having my friends around or me being around my friends, when life and reality hit me, I learned to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard, but I learned to be okay that I don't need nobody. See, that's where we fuck up. I was actually having a conversation with somebody earlier, and I was like, yo, the biggest mistake us humans make is when we make somebody feel like we need them. Remember, we're humans. We have wants.
Yeah.
Needs are something completely different. As long as you don't need another human, you'll be okay in life.
100%.
We always want another human. We can't differentiate that yo, that's not a need.
Yeah, it's a
It's a want.
Yeah.
Keep it at a want.
Yeah.
The moment you make another human feel like this person needs me, watch how badly that
100%.
relationship turns out,
Yeah.
whether it's a friendship or a
Or yeah,
relationship or a marriage.
romantic. Yep.
Never. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, you might need your mom, you might need your dad, right? There might be some people out there that saying, no, we don't need them. We're not talking about you.
Yeah.
You know, there's always exceptions to the
Agreed.
story,
Agreed.
and always exceptions to families as well, because not all families are great, not all parents are great, not all parents should be parents, right? But that's a topic for another discussion, right?
Different episode.
Different episode. And you know, if it's your mom, dad, brother, sister, those are relationships you need,
Yeah,
right?
to a
But
certain
when it
extent.
comes to external relationships,
Like that chosen family.
you don't need those relationships. You want those relationships. So you should be okay when those relationships do not work out. And that's what I learned. Because I always thought I needed certain relationships. I did not need them. You know? I'm going to give the perfect story is where somebody once made me say I need them. And they didn't physically make me say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said it. The whole time I was like, I want you, I want you, I want you, I want you. The moment I said I need
You
you,
turned into a doormat.
I I mean,
She walked all over you.
listen, listen,
She walked
you
all
can
over
never
you.
tell somebody you need them because
No.
you don't need them.
No.
At the end of the day, if there's one thing I know, we're all going in our own graves,
Yep.
right? None of your besties, your day ones, your ride or dies, your family, your chosen family, nobody
It's gonna be
is going to that grave with you. You understand?
Mhm.
Once the cupboard is sealed, your grave is sealed, somebody's gonna cry for a day, 2 days, 3 days. The most that somebody's gonna cry is you're probably gonna be your mother, who's never gonna forget you because she birthed you. Everybody else, once they leave, I promise you, you're only gonna be thought about at occasional moments.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's on that. I recently actually had a conversation with someone who, best way to put it is, we'll say that they were someone that I adored a lot as a friend,
Okay.
right? Sweetheart of a person. Personally, never had an issue with this individual. They went through something tragic recently, and it just felt like the right thing to do to like be there for that person. You know, didn't know what the hell to expect. I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna be there and take it as it comes. Did our part, made sure that this person was okay. And I even brought up to this person, because again, a conversation happened like, yo, what the fuck happened? And it was agreed upon that nothing happened between me and that person. It was a lot of, I guess, misunderstandings that were going on in their head on their end. And they chose not to reach out to me. And I'm like, yo, you have my number. We had a great relationship, right? A wonderful friendship at one point. At least based on that, you could have just reached out to me. What's the worst that could have happened? I would have been like, wasn't about you. It's a very simple thing, right? So, but then I mentioned to this person, I was like, yo, it's always at the time of tragedy where you're like, yo, we should be like, you know, we should get closer. And why do we only meet when someone, you know, this happens or that happens? And I said, I'm like, yo, you should give your flowers while you're alive. And by that, I mean, you always take flowers to a grave.
But we never want to give flowers when people are alive.
But that's so for me, my thinking, and again, over the years, like I said, I've worked on this a lot. I want to give flowers to people while I'm still here, while they're still here. There's no, what the hell am I going to do? Take it to their grave? The deer are going to eat it. The squirrels are going to eat it. Cool. I want to give you your flowers while you're still here. And I feel like I should receive mine too, you know, based on the relationship. And I told this to that person and they understood. But I was like, yo, like, there's nothing bad between us. But then that person did do certain things where I'm like, there's just nothing there. It's not good. It's not bad. Our principles are different. Our core values are different. You do you. I'm gonna do me.
Right.
I wish you well, and
But,
that's it.
You know, a lot of times people don't reach out because there's something called the me, meaning your ego, man.
Okay.
Right? In Urdu, Hindi, we say man. इसके अंदर मैं बहुत ज़्यादा, like he has too much pride within him, or she has too much pride within them. Like, one thing I don't get is if you and I are supposedly very good friends, and you know you fucked up, you know you're wrong. So, bro, just pick up that fucking phone. Whether it's a month later, 2 months later, 3 months, pick up that phone, right? You never know if that, I mean, obviously, if that relationship is that important to you, but if you know you're wrong, blatantly,
Yes,
it should not even hurt you, even an ounce
it shouldn't.
of pain should be derived from that. Pick up that phone and call somebody. Call that person that you know you did wrong. Whether you guys become friends after that or whatever the case might
But
be, is
clear it,
clear the
clear
air.
the air. Yeah,
Clear
yeah.
the air,
Just
right?
be at peace with it, and mind and be
But
honest about
in a
it.
lot of friendships, that doesn't happen because in a lot of friendships, people's pride and egos gets in the middle. Like, f this person or f that person.
And they're good. They get caught up in the moment.
They do
They do.
because guess what? Let's spin it back a little bit. Because when you and I fucked up, you ran to somebody else,
Exactly.
and that person gave you a home in a way, right? You come here, open arms, like
It's like a little parasite that just leeches on.
because now they've been waiting for that moment. That's what happens, right? You and I are besties. We're getting another lagi. We're besties. We're hanging out. We're doing this. We're inseparable. And there's always somebody in the corner
Always
who
waiting.
just wants that relationship with one or the other person, right?
reminds
And
me
they're
of-
waiting for it.
Yo, that reminds me of Lion King, the hyenas.
Right.
The hyenas always waiting.
They're always waiting for that. They're always waiting for a chance to pounce on it, right? So now, if you're friends with me, I'm friends with you, and let's say, like me personally, if I know I wronged somebody, I never have a problem apologizing. It might come in a week, might come in a day, might come in a month, it might come in 3 months, but if I see you, or even if I don't see you, I will take the initiative to apologize or spark up a conversation because I know I shouldn't have done what I did to fuck up that friendship of ours for for whatever it's worth. But
At least it'll be sincere at that point too, because everyone's like, "Oh, I said I'm sorry." It's like, no, 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 no half-ass apology. It has to be from the heart. It has to be sincere, and you
it
have
has to be
you
where
have to
had
mean
time,
it.
where you had time
Yes.
to actually think about,
Yes,
yo, I was wrong, right? But a lot of people don't do that.
They don't.
And friendships nowadays are based off of a lot of things like who could get me clout, right? Who can do what for me?
who can be and who's always there? Okay, so my actual best friend, the last time I probably physically saw her was when I got married.
Right.
But our friendship over the years, I've been friends with her for 20 plus years. All right. She is one of my, I would say, my longest standing friends. We barely see each other. But when we talk, we pick up right where we left off. For us, it's not a matter of, oh, I need to see you X amount of times during the week. And that's what our friendship is. And that's what's going to keep us strong and this and that. And it's like, and she has her own group of friends as well. I have my group of friends. And we both say it to our friends too, like, no, we're not making this person up. They're real.
They're real.
They are real. But it's like we have that kind of a relationship. And that's how it is with I have like what, maybe 5 very close friends, her being one of my closest. And we all have this because we all understand like we don't have to see each other every single day to prove our friendship. We don't have to hang out with each other. We don't have to do these things because our friendship is not based off of that. That's the quality and you could say how well our foundation is. And I feel like right now the friendships are all about how many times am I seeing you during the week? How many times are we meeting up? How many phone calls do we have? How many text messages do we send? How many memes do we send? That's not a friendship.
No, I feel like friendships. I agree with you on that, but I feel like friendships are more so based nowadays on what can the next person do for me. If I see you're successful, or you're a podcaster, or you're a Instagram celebrity, or you're successful in whatever you're doing.
You have like a big network.
You have
in
a
general.
big network.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, how do I become friends with them, or how do I get in their circle, right? That's what people look for. There's no genuine, for the most part,
the most
not
part,
all, for the most part, I don't see any genuine friendships being formed. What's being formed is
It's
business
user
deals.
friendly.
User friendly,
Yeah.
yeah. It's business deals in
Yeah.
a way.
It's
User-friendly.
transactional. It's like what
it's
can you
transactional. If the moment you can't do something for somebody,
I'm gonna move on to the next.
I'm gonna move on to the next. But hey, I thought we were buddies. I thought we were friends. Just because I can't do X, Y, Z for you, what about the friendship we had?
Fuck you.
There ain't no friendship. You ain't never had a friendship.
That's
What
it.
you had was a transactional acquaintanceship.
And it's so sad that some of these friendships are actually like decades long. But when it comes down to, again, same core values and morals and principles, when it actually comes down to proving that, they can't. And that's when and it's sad when you find out years later that this person wasn't it and you didn't know that for so long. And I feel like that in itself is a certain kind of heartbreak. Like no one talks about like the friendship heartbreaks. You only talk about romantic heartbreaks, but there are friendship heartbreaks too.
There's definitely friendship heartbreaks. One of my closest friends. Shout out, Shaw. Right. I've known that dude since probably 2002. And the very first time I saw him, I seen him get his ass beat. He got jumped. When he shot the fair with the guy, he messed him up. But then I seen him get jumped. But I wasn't friends with him at the time.
You didn't jump in.
And I was like, oh shit, getting fucked up. Cause
World star.
I was dating this chick at the time, and she was best friends with him.
Oh.
Right. So now I'm like, I know him, but he best friends with my chick. I don't really know him.
You just had to keep an eye on him.
Right. I was like, all right, cool, no doubt. What are we in 2023? That's
24.
24. That's 22 years, and I've seen this man's without hesitation. I don't gotta say nothing. Whack somebody. Just because, mind you, this dude's like 6'2", 6'3", like 215 pounds of straight muscle, right? And just because these people are trying to disrespect me.
I'm telling you. So
like I'm this 5'5", 5'6" guy, right?
Doesn't matter.
This dude, literally, if somebody starts with me, is there. And I'm standing with him when he gets into his problems. But that's not all. His kids call me Chachu. His kids run to me when I see them. I can walk into his house at any given time I want to. Knock on the door, not knock on the door. No problem. I have that relationship. Yeah. That's a 22-year friendship with me and that guy. God bless. You know, I love the guy. And we've been through our ups and downs, right? There's been times where we haven't spoken for months. Yeah. For months. Yeah. I could curse him out. This is what I would put a true friendship at with me and him is I could curse him out. Yeah. He could curse me out. When I'm doing something wrong, this dude comes at me. Yes. When he's doing something wrong. Oh my God.
Yes.
I go at him.
Yes.
I'm in his face about it like, nah.
That's a real friend.
Right? I'm going at it with him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he's going at it with me back and forth, back and forth. We might not even talk for the next 2-3 weeks.
Which is fine.
Right? Then that 4th week when we talk, we're like, yo, what up?
Yeah.
Yo,
that's another thing.
It's game over.
That's another point though. So friends or friendships in general, the minute you call out someone's bad behavior, like my best friend or my close group of friends and anyone that I want to consider a friend, I feel like you are really my friend if you can call out my bad behavior. If you don't want me looking like a clown in public and you help me become better, then you really are my friend. Because I feel like if you're just going to let me be stupid and look like an idiot in public especially, you're not my friend. Why am I even talking to you?
What if I'm just letting you have your good time and enjoy yourself?
No. There's a difference between having a good time and when you know, like, again, me and my friends, we will constantly call each other out on shit. Right. If one of us sees one of us doing something stupid, we'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know, like, stop it, pull back, like, think it through type shit. Yeah, there are times where we'd be like, fucking do it. Right. But when it really counts, especially when I'm talking about it's going to affect your character, it's going to affect your self-respect. That's those moments that's when you know who your real friends are. And I feel like...
You know who your real friends are? I'm sorry to cut you off. Good. Is when you're in the gutter. When you're in a hole in your life, you are nothing but negative energy, right? Everything about you is negative. Your energy, your aura, your personality, everything at the moment is nothing but negative about you, and you're in the hole. And the person that comes and stays with you or picks you up from that hole, gives their hand and pulls you out of that hole. And I'm not talking about doing stuff. I'm talking about being there for you mentally, let you know, like, yo, dude, you got this. Like, I'm here with you regardless. We're friends. You need my help? You want to talk to somebody? You want me to pick you up? You want me to grab you? You want to go fight somebody? You want to beat somebody up? Meaning they're there for you no matter what, no matter how down you are. They're not moving away from you because you're in this hole. A lot of times what happens in friendships is when they see a certain friend, a person that they were friends with going a different route, right? They'll be like, oh, once or twice I told him I don't F this, he don't want to listen or she don't want to listen. They're like, I did my job. No, if you have that kind of friendship with me for the past 15, 20 years, I expect you to fucking pull me out of that shit. What I mean by that is I expect you to make sure that I don't do nothing crazier than what I'm already doing and make sure that I'm standing steadfast on my own 2 feet.
You know what? I agree and I disagree with that. Okay. Reason I disagree is because I feel like a lot of people will take advantage of that to become so-called a close friend to that person. Like if I'm down and someone, because for me, I'm not going to base friendship on the like number of years that I've known you, right? like, yes, I have my long-term friends, but I've met people in the last, let's say, 6, 7 years where the quality of our friendship is so great where they are very close to me. I'm not going to base it on, I've only known you 2 days. No, you're nothing. I've known this person 20 years. They're everything. No,
Right.
it doesn't work that
It
way,
doesn't
right?
work like
If
that.
you're lucky enough, it works that way.
But what I'm talking about is if you have that kind of friendship with
If you
somebody,
do, then yes,
whether
you
it's
expect
5
them.
years. Okay, for example, your husband.
Yeah.
I've known the dude all in all 6 years,
Okay.
right? Other than probably the last 6 months, which this is the most we've ever spoken in our lives with each other, right?
You're welcome.
Thank you, right? Thank you. But there were times that I wouldn't speak to him for 3 months, 6 months, 4 months. But the moment we got on the phone,
Yeah.
we saw each other, or we were in each other's presence, it was like as if we just saw each other
Yeah,
yesterday.
no, that I've
right?
seen. I've seen, yeah.
Like we just seen each other yesterday, and we picked up right where we left off.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when someone is down. Like, let's say I'm going through something and my actual friends are there, like people that I really like, I fuck with, right? They're there. But then there's as I would do it, the user friendly clout chasers that are waiting for that little crack so they can come in between like a little leech. When they come in and they're all about, because let's say my friends are busy, it's normal, right? Let's say my friends can't physically be there for me in that time that I really, really need someone, or I think I really need someone because I'm so vulnerable at this point.
You don't need anybody. You want somebody.
But let's say the little leech comes in and it's like, I'm here for you. I'm vulnerable. So I'm going to be like, oh, okay, thank you. The next day they're there. The third day, the fourth day, the fifth day. And then somehow or another, this person claims that they're my best friend. But me being vulnerable, easily taken advantage of in that moment, I'm going to be like, oh my God, you're my everything now. That is what I've seen happen in friendships. So even though when you are at your lowest, and I've always heard this like, oh, your true friends are there when you have nothing and when you hit rock bottom and all this other shit. Yes and no. I feel like your true friends or people that really fuck with you are going to be there whether you're at your highest or you're at your lowest.
You know,
Or you're mid. It doesn't matter.
Yes, and that's my point.
Throughout the fluctuations are be there. But the ones that are user friendly are definitely the ones that show up when you're at your lowest.
No.
They do.
User friendly are the ones that, unless they need something from you, they show up at your lowest.
Exactly.
But for the most part, the user friendly friends show up when you're at the top.
But that's easily, no. The user friendly ones, no. The ones that are really going in, you know how they have like the long game?
Right.
The true user friendly snakes show up when a person is at their lowest, because every snake shows up when you're at your high point, when you're successful, and when you're doing all the shit. The real snakes show up when you're at your lowest, because these are people that you would never fuck with. You would never even look twice in their direction, but somehow they're there for you all the time. You're like, oh, okay, they're here. And they're here again, and they're here again. And because you're at your lowest, you're now thinking that this person that you once thought was a scum of the earth is now using like their Slytherin powers.
Your best friend?
You know, shout out to any Potterheads. But, you know, they're using their Slytherin powers. They're coming in and it's like, oh shit, this person's really there for me. But they're just waiting to fucking bite you and spew their venom because it's a pattern that they do. Real snakes come at your lowest, but they're the hardest ones to spot.
You heard that, people? Real snakes, they come at you.
I mean, they live in the fucking ground, right?
They slithering everywhere, right? But no, at the end of the day, when it comes to at least in my humble opinion, when it comes to friendships, right? I feel like a lot of people want to be around you when you got a little bit of shine going to you.
Oh, agreed,
right?
100%.
And for the most part, that's when everybody comes. Nobody likes, or at least in my experience, nobody likes to come and help you or talk to you or want to be friends with you or slither into your life when you yourself aren't doing anything and you're hitting a rock bottom or a low point and they know you. Nobody wants to be around you. The only thing I've ever experienced is when people want to be around you when you're doing something, right? Now, let's say I turn into this big podcaster. My whole viewership, my Instagram, my TikTok, everything gonna blow up because everybody want to know me now.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be like, oh, I know him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even currently, I could say there's a shit ton of people that people will come. I'm pretty sure you've heard it. Oh, I know him. They don't know me. I don't know them. They know of me. I don't know them. Mm-hmm. They don't know me. They know of me. Mm-hmm. They know what they heard about me. Some good, some bad, which is all good, fine and dandy, right? But you don't know me. Mm-hmm. So my experience says that most of the times that I've seen people slither around is when you're on a high horse in life.
again, that's true, but I feel like that's just easier to spot. The ones that you don't spot are the ones that come in at your low points because you're not expecting it. You're
But
like,
even, but see, sorry to cut you off because I was gonna say when you're vulnerable, you're blind, right? But I would also say when you're on a high horse, you're also blind. Because when you're
yeah,
on a high
okay.
horse, you're just having this ball of a time, you're
Mm,
enjoying life, and you're being successful in this
mm-hmm,
or this and this and that. Now you're meeting all these people.
mm.
In some cases, for better lack of judgment that you're going to have, it's because you're blinded by the euphoria you're feeling on your high
In the
horse right
moment.
now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? So it's the same thing if I'm vulnerable and somebody comes to me as opposed to me up being on this high horse of mine and people are coming around me and I'm thinking everybody, especially when it comes to money.
Mm.
Especially when it comes to money. In girls' cases, it could be guys. In some guys' cases, it could be girls. But especially when it
Money
comes to
and any
money.
kind of like nowadays the social media recognition.
Oh
So
yeah,
if you can be
everybody wants to be around an influencer.
either an influencer or something that is yes well known, like whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a lounge, whether it's a brand of any kind, like you slowly want to like associate yourself with it, so you'll tag them, you'll be over there, you'll record your videos, and you do it to a point where you're always associated with that, so you become kind of like a mascot. And yeah,
So what would you say? What would you say? Friendships lack the key ingredient.
integrity.
Damn, she didn't even let me finish my question.
Sorry.
She was waiting for that. She was like, "I know he's gonna ask me that. I must say integrity real quick." I'm just saying.
Integrity.
So integrity. Why?
People lack integrity now
In friendships?
in
I'm talking
most
about in friendships.
relationships.
No,
In most relationships, but yes, in friendships too.
we're talking about friendships.
Yes, in friendships. People lack the integrity, which is why a lot of friendships they change so quickly. Like if I know that someone talked so much shit about me, right? Right off the back, even if I don't know, like a complete stranger, right? If let's say I know Billz talked so much shit about me, and all of a sudden now I'm in front of him. Let's say I confront you. No, no, I
Hey, you're
confront you.
getting there. You're getting there. You're
Yeah.
getting there. You about to hit that. You about to hit that.
I
You about to
confront
hit
you,
it. You about to hit
and
it.
we hash out our issues. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck is your problem? Why were you saying all this shit about me? And you say whatever your reasoning is. And I say, you know what? That's cool. And however you felt, like whatever. We get through that conversation. But then I'm parting ways. You will never see me sit at a table with you. I'm not breaking bread with you. I'm not doing business with you. I'm not hanging out with you. If I see you, I'll be cordial. I'll be like, yo, what's up? And I will keep it moving. You will never be my friend, especially when I know you talked all that shit about me, even though we have our peace.
You know what people mostly do though? Let's say I don't like you, right?
Normal.
I know you. We're cool, but for some odd reason, secretly within me, I have a disdain for you. But when I see you,
You're
I'm all buddy
smiles.
buddy with you.
Mm,
But when you leave or I leave your presence, I'm a chatterbox, right? That's what I don't get. I've
yeah.
experienced that plenty of times.
That is
Like I feel like I'm at the stage in life, and especially throughout all my friendships, I tell everybody the same thing, and this is the one thing I'm gonna repeat myself. I might have said this earlier,
mm,
but whenever whenever I'm building a bond or there's a new bond being formed with me and somebody, I always make one disclaimer to them, like, "Yo, I'm a very nonchalant person. I'm out there. I'm loud. I'm just an extroverted person. I don't know at one point what point I'm doing something you don't like. Please tell me,
yeah.
right? I made this point earlier. Can't read your mind.
Yeah.
I can't read your mind. Just please tell me."
Which is normal.
People don't do that. They rather
They
go
rather
talk.
talk about it behind your back.
And that's what boggles my mind. Like, yo, you have that open channel with me, bro. Just come and talk to me. Like, we're grown men.
But they don't
Come
know
and
how to
talk to
have
me.
that
No,
conversation.
but why not?
I feel like a lot of it
You
also.
can go and talk shit about me to everybody and everybody and make them feel whatever you gotta make them feel about me. But when you come to my face, your smiles, right? Like I recently, 48 hours ago, matter of fact, I was talking to one of my buddies. Recently got married. He just came back from the homeland. He went back home and got married. You know, passport bro. I'm just messing with you. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna do an episode on passport bros. Promise you, we're doing a episode on passport bros.
Mail order brides.
I'm telling you, not mail order bride, but yeah. So he comes back from Pakistan, and I'm on the phone with the homie, and like, yo, congratulations, happy New Year's, blah 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 blah. And he's like, yo, let me know when you and X, Y, and Z want to go out. I want to take you guys out for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, for what? He's like, oh, to celebrate the fact that I got married. I was like, oh, yo, that's awesome. What slips out of his mouth is he's like, yo, I already took the other homies out. Other homies I know.
Okay.
Homies that I think I'm friends with, or I at least consider people I grew up with, or
You
some
didn't get the
right. No, it's not about
invite.
the invite. What I'm about to drop, I'm about to drop
Okay. The bakwaas.
the bakwaas,
Okay,
the
go.
bakwaas,
Go.
because we anti-bakwaas.
Okay.
I'm about to drop the bakwaas right there. So he's like, oh, I already took the other homies out. I'm like, wait, what? You already took the other homies out? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh. He's like, yo, man, the thing is, my bad, bro. There's a couple of people from that group that don't feel comfortable when you're around.
Mm.
I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Because these are the same people. I know every single person in that group. I'm like, when they see me, it's nothing but love with these guys. They show me mad love. They come, they shake my hand, they give me a hug, they sit down with me, they eat with me, they break bread with me.
Yeah, I can't.
If you have broken bread with me,
Yeah.
listen, bro, if you have broken bread with somebody,
You don't
you
cross
can't do
them.
that to them.
You can't, but
You
people
can't,
do. People
right?
do.
You broke bread with me, not once, on multiple occasions. You have broken bread with me, right? And then this homie of mine tells me, yo, a couple people don't feel comfortable. That's why I had to do one separate for you. That's why I'm asking you.
The fuck, do they have an allergic reaction to you?
So
Tell them take a Benadryl.
My point in that whole story is, bro, I see y'all throughout the year multiple times. I've known you guys pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
If you have an issue,
Yeah.
come address it.
Agreed.
Or I tell my friend, I say, yo, who's these people? Because I can't give you the names.
Oh, I hate that.
I said, why
hate
you
that
can't give
so
me the
much.
names?
Oh my god.
Why can't you give me the names?
Yeah.
He's like, I can't give you the names. I'm like, look, bro, it's a simple request. Tell me who it is.
Yeah.
It's a fair request. Let me know, guys, if it's a fair request.
It
or
is a
not.
fair
It's a
request.
fair request. Let me know who feels uncomfortable with me being around. So the next time I'm around them, I don't even want to say hi to them.
Yeah, that's it.
Because how you can be uncomfortable and you could basically talk shit about me to my other homies, but when you see me, you all Billy this, Billy that, Billy that, blah, blah. Like you basically on my shit at that point. If that's but for the lack of better words, that's what I'm gonna say now.
Yeah.
You're on my shit when you see me.
Yep.
Why you can't keep that same energy when I'm in front of you? And that's why I want to keep
so
that same
much.
energy. That's what I'm telling my buddy. I'm like, yo, give me the names. Like I want to know who they are.
Yeah.
No, what you gonna do? I'm like, I'm not gonna do nothing.
Yo,
I'm
that's
like,
the thing. They always think it's gonna be a fight.
I'm like, I just want to know.
Yeah.
So next time I see them, I don't even look their way.
They always think it's gonna be a fight. Like I recently had a conversation with someone about a similar situation. I think it was like maybe 3 weeks ago, like before the new year. And I was like,
got my boba. Well, I need a boba break.
okay. So I spoke to this person. I was
this
like,
mango hit. Sorry.
you're so brown.
I mean, I ain't white from anywhere.
I mean, I'm not a mango person. Okay, moving on. So I contacted this person and I was like, yo, I need so-and-so's phone number. They're like, why? I'm like, you're well aware of why I'm asking. I'm tired of all like the crap I'm hearing. And I would rather address the situation because anytime I try to address the situation, this person ducks me. Like they've basically been running from me for the longest time. And other people have approached this individual and are like, yo, just talk to her. Meaning me, talk to her, squash the situation. Like, first of all, you shouldn't have been running your mouth to begin with. You don't know her, but you wanted to say all this shit. And now that she's finding out all this shit and she's trying to confront you on it, you're either hiding behind your keyboard or you're hiding in person. Because anytime you see her, you run from her. And I'm over here like, I'm waiting to have a conversation. Cool, just come, let's talk. Let me hear yours. Like, let me understand your, where your mind's at for you to go out of your way to do this. Like, how miserable are you? And
people are very miserable.
they really are. So the last person that I spoke to about this was like, yo, let me get a phone number and I'll just send this person a message. I'm not gonna say anything like crazy, but I'll let them know like, yo, I know what's up. I've been knowing what's up. I wish you well. I hope you do good in life. But
You wish everybody well, huh?
I do.
That's good.
But at the same time, like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Mic drop.
no, if I wish you well, cool. If you have a problem with me and I don't know why you have a problem with me, but you're over here running your mouth, okay. Either shut up or come tell me like, yo, this is why I have a problem with you, especially
But
if
were
you
you
don't know
ever
me.
friends with this person?
No, I don't know this person.
So
But once again,
Time out, time out, time out.
No, but look. So I'm still
whoa.
trying to tell my story
Okay, sorry,
before you get
sorry.
accused of cutting me off.
People like to accuse. And you gonna get accused for
gonna
cutting
get
me
accused.
off because you got accused.
Can I finish my story?
Go ahead.
Thank
Sorry.
you. So I just asked this person. I was like, yo, like, I'm not trying to involve you. Let me get the number, because obviously the person I'm trying to contact isn't gonna know who gave me the number. They're just gonna know, fuck, she has my number now. Okay, but I'm gonna send a message and I'm gonna block the number, and it'll be out of mind, out of sight for me, because trying to see this person in person is a fucking circus. So what does this person say that I'm speaking to on the phone? Oh, I don't want to get involved. I'm like, I know. That's why I'm trying to get the number from you, and that excludes you from the conversation. Oh, let me ask so and so if it's okay for me to give you their number, and then I will give you the number. I'm like, but that means you're involving yourself.
But
like,
I respect that.
I don't.
No, because look, if somebody called me and said, "Yo, I need your man's number. I want to ask him what's the problem with him," and I'm gonna be like, "Wait a minute, time out. Hold your horses. Talk to me first, right? If they still want the number, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't give you. I'm gonna be straight. This is a buck. Like I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna give you the number until I speak to them, and that's the right thing to do. To be quite honest, in my opinion.
No, I get what you're saying. I don't
would hit up
disagree with
person-
that, right?
I would hit that person up and be like, "Yo, XYZ wants your number." Now, here's where the situation is a little tricky. Now, I reach out to that person, depending on who it is. Now, if they scared to confront you, they'll be like, "No, don't give them my number,"
Yeah.
because they don't want to confront you. But the ones that are like, "Okay, I do have a problem. Let's hash it out, or let's talk to. Let me talk to this
But that's the
person."
thing. So I already know what the answer was going to be. That's why I'm like, yo, this is the best way I think like I could go about it, right?
Right.
Maybe it was wrong, but I told them, like, yo, you don't want to be involved. I already know what that person's going to say. Just let me get the number. Let me say my piece, and that's it. And then this person was all about, no, I can't do that. And I said, I'm like, look, I respect why you're saying no, but you also understand the situation I'm in, because you've been a bystander in this entire thing. Like, everyone's there to see the tamasha and like, ooh, okay. But then when it comes down to it, to end it, everyone's like, I don't want to get involved.
You gotta
No.
understand.
Like, but you're here for the show.
From personal experience, when people do get involved, right, like between friends, like multiple groups of multiple friends in the same group, and one has an issue with another one, and you're trying to be that good person trying to resolve the situation, I promise you, you always get the short end of the stick.
But I'm not trying to resolve anything. I'm just trying to end something. And it's not a friendship.
No, but that's you're trying to resolve a situation, right, between your friends. Now, if one friend is saying something about your other friend, you're just like, that's what we started with, right?
No, that's amongst friends. I'm saying just in general, like there's a particular situation where I don't. This is like, let's say this is a neutral friend, right? The person I'm talking to is a neutral friend.
Yeah, but
someone that plays both
but
sides.
the third person you don't know. That's what you said.
Yeah, the third person I don't
So
know.
here's my thing. In Punjabi, we have a word. To all my Punjabis, y'all gonna love it. All you should be saying is "sanu ki."
No,
And why is that? Is that person that supposedly has a problem with you, and I'm not doubting you, right? But I gotta use that for the right terminology. Supposedly has a problem with you, right? If you don't know them, then you don't have a problem with them. And something Tom Holland said in one of his interviews, and I'm gonna repeat it.
Yeah, okay, Spidey.
Spider-Man said it. Spider-Man said it. He said, "Listen, if you have a problem with me, call me. And if you don't have my number to call me, you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me."
Yeah, agree to disagree. Once again, when you know a situation is such where you know that there is a problem and it wasn't a problem you created, and you are trying to be the adult and to squash a situation and to understand why, because you're like, okay, I get it, you're miserable. You have nothing going on in your life. I'm apparently very relevant to you. Let me talk to you. I'm not used to people running from me. It's not entertaining. It's very irritating.
But if you know the person doesn't want to confront you, doesn't want to have anything to do with anything close to a confrontation with you, then
But
why,
it's not a confrontation,
why are you going
right?
fishing?
It's not a confrontation. It's a conversation.
Yes. But a lot of people think a conversation is a confrontation.
This is why I say they lack integrity, because if you have backbone and you have a sense of maturity to you, irrespective of your age, I just feel like if I hear, oh, Billy wants to have a conversation with me, I'll be like, okay, cool. What are we talking about? Doesn't matter, right? Especially even if, let's say, I'm guilty of something and I'm like,
oh no, if you're guilty of something, you're gonna think twice about having a conversation with me.
I'm talking about me.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm talking about me.
We're just talking about the general population.
Okay, right now I'm
General Desi population, matter of fact.
Yeah. So general Desi population, possibly they're gonna be like, oh shit. Me, if I know that you want to talk to me, and let's say there's a possibility that I fucked up with you, yeah, I'd be like, okay, what does he want to talk about? But then I'd be like, yo, fuck it, let's just talk. What's the worst that's gonna happen? We're gonna stop being friends.
You're already not friends.
We're gonna stop talking. Like the worst scenario is that, right? Okay, cool. You're not gonna swing at me. It's not gonna get
I got
physical.
a question for you.
I may have an answer.
What do you think about friends? Right?
The show?
No, people that you become friends with. And let's say you and I became friends, and I
Yes.
shared personal information with you,
Yes.
right? I've shared personal, vulnerable details about my life with you. You and I get into a fight. You and I get into a fight, let's say in front of your friends, and you start,
All the personal
for
stuff
the lack
comes
of a
out.
better word, exposing my
Yeah, yeah.
personal stuff.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to be friends with that person again?
No.
Why not?
Because that just shows me that you were waiting for the ball to drop in order to come against me. You were plotting the whole time. Because a true friend is not going to air your dirty laundry out there, no matter what. I'm not going to, like, let's say I know every one of your dark secrets. I will, in a private argument between the two of us, I might come at you.
Right.
And I will give you a lot of verbal wounds with that.
Right.
But in front of other people, no. I'll say other stuff, right? But there's certain things that just should not come out in public.
Yeah, I like what you said about
Privately,
that person might have been waiting.
yeah, they were plotting. Especially if they can say it in front of people that you know also don't like you. They were already plotting.
Right.
So if me and you get into an argument and you start airing my dirty laundry, or you start talking about shit that I've trusted you with, and for me, biggest thing, if I pinky promise with you and you break that promise,
You
no,
believe in pinky promise?
I do.
So you
It's like the mob mentality. I'm sorry, like you pinky promise with me, you break a pinky promise,
Do you
the
believe in
pinky gets
mermaids
broken.
also?
Huh?
Do you also believe in mermaids? Fairies?
Sirens.
Leprechauns?
I've met a few.
Lucky Charms? Me, find me gold?
I've met a few of those too. I'm telling you, I've met a few leprechauns.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. I want to know more.
They're all about the pot of gold.
They're all about the pot of gold.
They're all about the money.
So from now on, we're gonna call the user-friendly friends leprechauns. They're
No.
all about the pot of gold.
No. They're more like gremlins. You've seen Gizmo? Gremlins, the
Yes,
movie?
yes.
You know, like after midnight, if you feed Gizmo, he turns into a monster. That's it. You feed them some information and go,
Have you
"Ah,
seen the Goonies?
yes.
You know that
The one-eyed.
the one-eyed mofo. Every time you give him a chocolate,
Yes.
he's ready to talk.
Yes.
Oh, hungry.
Yeah.
That's friends for you.
Friends.
Hungry.
But that's why I say they are like, they're easily bought.
Yeah.
They're very
There's
easily
no
bought.
loyalty.
There's no integrity. There's no backbone. There's nothing like that. And it's like that's I think
If
it's a meme, right? Like, oh, it's a quote or a meme, I'm not sure, but it's like you look at certain people and you're like, that's the sperm that won.
Damn.
Okay.
Ouch.
And you
Sheesh. Yo, she coming at next over here. That's the out of the 99 million, your ass chose to win.
okay.
I wonder how you won.
Some people should have been swallowed.
Oh, damn. No, come on. This is a family-friendly podcast.
It's AntiBakwaas, right?
AntiBakwaas don't mean that we could say, yo.
Do your mic drop. Do your mic drop.
She just did a mic drop moment, guys. I have to take a couple of seconds to take in what she just said. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, some people, listen, at the end of the day,
I just don't know how they
if
can look
you
at
find-
themselves.
If you find, oh, they sleep perfectly fine.
They do. And
They
that's the
seem
more
perfectly
disgusting part. Like the behavior is so disgusting to me of
There's people out there that will destroy your life, destroy you, manipulate everybody into thinking you did something wrong
You're the
and you're
villain.
the wrong person, and go home and go to
Sleep
sleep
fine.
peacefully at night.
But play the
Thinking
victim.
They did nothing wrong.
But play the
And
victim.
Play the
The
fucking
victim.
Damn. Just saying. I'm not trying to, say something, but I'm just saying.
we're not
something.
so okay, so here's the disclaimer too. So they're shit talking which is what I think a lot of people are thinking we're doing on this podcast. It's not shit talking.
I'm shit talking.
No,
Fuck
no,
that.
no. Shit talking.
I needed this.
Listen.
Okay,
remember the video? Remember the video of Linda. Listen, the little kid that's looking at his mom like, Linda, listen, Linda.
Listen, I'm legally blind.
So there's shit talking, and then there's stating facts that just happen to be not in the best interest of that person. So there's shit talking. Normally that's lying. And that's where problems come from. And then there's stating facts about someone where you're like, oh, it's unfortunate that your truth happens to be shitty. You know, there's the difference between that. And I feel like a lot of these friend groups, they start on the basis of shit talking. And there's the same people that talk shit about each other. And now they're all friends because they squash their issues, but they're really not. Like that's not real friends. I'm sorry, you cannot be friends with someone like that. What you
trying to tell me? I can't talk shit about my friends with each other?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can't be real friends with someone that you talked so much shit about. You cannot, with a clear conscience, say, that's my best friend now. Because not for nothing, you're always going to be looked at and you're going to be made fun of. I'm sorry, when I see people hanging out with each other that once talked the most shit, like a foul, vile, horrible things about each other, and now you're sitting at the same table, you're hanging out with each other, you're doing all this shit, whether it's males, whether it's females. For me, I see nothing but, I don't know. It's like I see clowns.
Male friendship drama is a little different than female.
It's the same shit. Males. I'm sorry, men be acting like bitches too. Stop.
No.
Nowadays they do. Just stop. Like you know that's true. You don't want to say it, but you know it's true. And I've seen a lot of it in the last like few years. I've seen a lot of bitchery, for lack of a better word.
I mean, it does happen, but for the most part, men will say their piece, meaning talk shit to curse each other out.
They will lie to your face.
Absolutely.
And then they will think it's okay. And then when you call them out on it, it's the same thing. Like they're at times worse than the females. And it's sad because they're males and you don't expect that from them. You feel like men should have more of a conscience and more of a backbone because, you know, me man, me this, me that. It's like, cool, you bitch.
Oh, damn.
There's a difference now.
Mic drop.
Like I've seen so much of that now, and it's so sad because normally, like I'm not biased. If I see man or woman, if you are messing up, I'm not gonna take sides just based on my gender. If a woman is fucking up, she's fucking up. Yes, I know a lot of females hate that about me, but right is right, wrong is wrong. Just because you're a woman, I'm not gonna take your side. Just because
cancel you, right?
It's fine.
The women are gonna cancel you. They're gonna come after you.
Again, people with integrity are not going to do that, irrespective of their gender. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm sorry, just because you can cry on demand, okay, boom, your tears are coming. And a man can't do that.
Oscar award goes to...
But because a man can't do that...
Men can do that too.
Again, we're saying for the general population, right? Women are known to do this kind of dumb shit more. Men don't. I feel like it's wrong. But nowadays, I see it happening more so from the guys too. I'm like, what happened to the guys? Like, because it was always bro code. That was kind of an example that people...
Bro code?
It doesn't exist.
That?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Code, bro code, it doesn't exist anymore.
That?
It doesn't.
It does not. There was back in the day, maybe,
yes.
You know, in our time, much younger days, there was something called a bro code and a sis code.
There was respect. There was loyalty. There was integrity. That's not there anymore.
It was. But you know what? Another one of those reasons is because I feel like everybody just hanging out with everybody, right? Before, back in my day, in the Desi culture, at least in my culture, right? When I was 18, I wasn't hanging out with the 30-year-olds. I wasn't out and about with the 30-year-olds doing whatever the hell they were doing at the time. Nowadays, we got like 30-year-olds hanging out with 15-year-olds, 35-year-olds hanging out with fucking 20-year-olds, right? So automatically, those younger minds are thinking beyond their years when they don't need to. Yeah. So now they got a little bit of, you know, clout. They're hanging out with the older cats, the ones that are successful. They forget their friends. Like, oh, shit.
And even when that's not the case, right? It's just... people don't value, again, these things because to them it's like, oh, it's corny. Oh, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, you're too deep. Oh, you're overthinking it. It's like, I'm really not. It's black and white. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this kind of dumb shit.
But what your right is might not be somebody else's right.
Well, my right is literally, I'm going by like, I don't know, the Webster's dictionary definition.
Who the hell?
I'm not going by Urban Dictionary. I'm going by the actual real dictionary. And right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm not going by the slang terms of what a friendship is.
I could be wrong, but I believe the Urban Dictionary is more popular than Merriam-Webster's dictionary.
But that's the thing. People are going for the popularity and the clout. They're not going for what actually is the truth.
Who cares about the truth anymore? I mean, we see everything that's going on.
But that's the thing. People don't care about that. And that's why we are at the state that we are. And then you would think, like, as a.
Fragile.
Oh,
One word, fragile. Fragile society, fragile state, fragile relationships.
yeah.
And it's very unfortunate that we have to talk about it like this because friendships were at one point, and maybe in some cases still is, the backbone of a human person's life, right?
Yeah.
You need friends. You need to have friends. Not need. You want friends, right?
And it's
you
nice
want
to have
friends.
that.
You want to have company.
Yes.
You want to have somebody that you can confide in, talk to, share the laughs, share the good times, the bad times. You know, you want those people, those kind of people, but it's unfortunate. It's hard to find those kind of people. So if you have found somebody like that, make sure you keep them dear and near to you, so you can have that in your life.
And
as
not
well.
for nothing. And if you fucked up with someone that you had like that, fix it.
Fix it.
It may not go
Don't
back
let
to
your-
the
don't-
same
don't
overnight.
let your pride get
but
into
yeah,
it.
fix
Don't let
it.
your pride or ego come into it. If you had that person or a group of friends or a couple of friends that you knew that, yo, no matter what, these people are my people.
Yeah.
Right? At that point, you got to put your ego down. You got to put your pride down. Whatever the situation was, you can always fix it, right? Because you had that with them.
Yeah.
But it all starts from you.
Yeah, it has to start that. You have to take the first step.
You have to take. If somebody else doesn't want to take the initiative, you take the initiative. If that relationship again is that important to you, meaning if you had that kind of relationship with them, 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15, whatever it is. If you know you had that kind of relationship and you know that deep down in your core, like, yo, that friend of mine or that group of friends of mine was everything.
They were solid.
They were solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our misunderstandings,
Just fine.
but that's my solid group of friends.
Yeah.
At that point, if they're not making the initiative, you knock that door. And if that door opens, you'll see how they will welcome you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't open, at least you got your answer. Like, okay.
Like I said in the beginning of the conversation, where I saw something tragic happen to someone that I once truly did adore. Like, I had a lot of love for this person. I don't have hatred for them, but I have nothing. Like, I have my peace. There's no good. There's no bad. Something tragic happened, showed up, did what needed to be done. But then I also saw that our values don't match, because now they're doing stuff that I don't agree with, and they're not apologetic about it, and they're doing it knowing that it's like, yo, but you know that hurt me. You know that hurt me because you were by my side when it was hurting me, and you're still choosing that over. Okay, cool. You know what? You're happy with that? You're going through something bad. I, again, wish you well. And that's it. That's you could say my closure, even though I wasn't expecting it, but that's how I got my closure in that sense, right?
You definitely
And that's
need
it.
closure in friendship relationships.
You
too.
do. So at least in this specific individual, this specific friendship, I got my closure.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool. That's it. It is what it is. Like, because the minute, again, you see your core principles don't match, I don't care what the relationship is. I don't care if it's professional, personal, romantic. If your core principles don't match, you're never going to have a solid relationship.
Respect.
So
Remember, we talked about it.
Yeah.
The number one key to any relationship is respect.
Yes.
You give me, I give you. Let's keep it that way. But if there's something that you could tell our audience when it comes to friendship, advice, whatever, what would you want to tell our audience?
Loyalty is very important in friendships.
Just elaborate a little bit.
If you choose someone to be your friend, whether you're friends with them now or you were friends with them at one point, whatever the case is, respect them. And even if you have a falling out with them, still respect them. Don't do things to them that you would not want them to do to you, whether they're in your life, whether they're not in your life. And that, I mean, there's billions of people in the world. And if you know
Around
certain
8 billion, approximately.
if you know that certain individuals have hurt this person, don't become friends with them. Because even if you have a falling out with each other and then you do this dumb fuckery, there's no going back. So even if there was a way to get back to one another, there's not anymore. So respect them, whether they're in your life or they're not in your life. Do to them what you would want them to do to you. And you will live a very peaceful life. You will have a lot of good karma come to you. And same for that person too. I think that's very important. Do to others what you would want done to yourself. That's just a way of life, right? That's an Islamic way of life. It's a cultural way. And I think it applies to every relationship out there, whether it's friendship, romantic, or whatever have you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our host, Kina, with wise words of wisdom on how it should be when it comes to friendships and how you should behave or
I
how
feel like the
you should
lights need to
act,
be dim.
or how you should receive or perceive what's coming your way. On that note, thank you from the crew of AntiBakwaas. Kina, it was a pleasure having this conversation with you today.
Likewise.
Until our next one, like, subscribe, share. We love y'all. It's your host, Billz.
And Kina, bye bye.
Have a good one. Happy New Year's.